I remember when those 3 words were the foundation of my marriage. I love you. They used to come naturally from her lips, sometimes whispered in the morning when I left for work, sometimes shouted from across the house when I walked in the door, sometimes softly said when we were lying in bed at night. Those words were simple, but they carried the weight of our bond. And then they just stopped. At first, I didn't notice. Life was busy. We both had our routines. I assumed it was just stress, a distraction, maybe something temporary. But over time, I realized the silence had a pattern. She would hang up the phone without saying it. She would walk past me at night without saying it. The words I had once taken for granted became a rare ghost in our home. And silence, believe me, can be louder than any scream. I tried to brush it off. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she didn't feel the need to say it all the time. But little things started piling up, and I couldn't ignore them anymore. She stopped answering my texts with warmth. A simple okay replaced the little heart she used to send. When I leaned in for a hug, her arms felt stiff, like I was forcing her. Even when I looked at her, I saw a distance in her eyes. I'd ask her, "Is something wrong?" She'd shrug and say, "You're overthinking it." But I knew I wasn't. I was watching the woman I loved slowly erase me from her world. Do you know what it feels like to live in the same house with someone and still feel invisible? To sit across from your wife at dinner and feel like you don't even exist? That's where I was. And that's when I made a decision I never thought I'd make as a husband. I stopped coming home. At first, it was just late nights at the office. I buried myself in work, telling myself it was for the bills, for the future, for her. But really, I just didn't want to walk into a house that felt colder than winter. Then it became drives around the city. Hours behind the wheel, no destination, just music and silence. Some nights I ended up in a parking lot, eating fast food alone, staring at the ceiling of my car because it felt less lonely than the bed we used to share. There were nights I even slept on the couch at work. I told myself it was easier than fighting to be noticed at home. For the first time in my marriage, I wasn't fighting for her attention. I was done begging. I was done proving my love when she wouldn't even say 3 simple words back. And honestly, for a while, I thought she wouldn't even notice. But I was wrong. One evening, after another long night away, I walked in, and she was waiting for me. Her arms were crossed, her tone sharp, but there was something different in her voice, desperation. "Why are you never home anymore?" she asked. I almost laughed. Why was I never home? Because home didn't feel like home anymore. Because every time I walked through that door, I felt like an unwanted guest instead of a husband. She tried to act like she cared, tried to flip it on me. "You've changed," she said. "You're not the same man you used to be." And in that moment, something inside me cracked. I looked her in the eyes and told her the truth. "Of course I've changed. You stopped loving me. You stopped saying it, stopped showing it, stopped being my partner. You think I didn't notice?" I begged in silence while you treated me like I was nothing. She froze. For the first time in years, she didn't have a quick comeback. She looked at me like she was finally realizing what she had done. And then, like it was supposed to fix everything, she whispered, "I love you." Do you know how cruel that sounded? To hear those words again, not because she meant them, but because she was afraid of losing me. I didn't smile. I didn't thank her. I didn't feel relief. Instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, power. I told her flatly, "Love isn't a word you dust off when you feel me slipping away. Love is an action. Love is consistency. Love is respect. You stopped giving me that a long time ago, and now you're scared. But you don't get to choose when I matter. Not anymore." Her eyes filled with regret, with panic. She reached out, trying to hold me, but I stepped back. For years, I had been the man who begged, who compromised, who tried to spark the fire alone. And in that moment, I realized I was done being that man. Now she wants me back. Now she says she'll try. Now she swears she loves me. But I don't need to hear it anymore. Because here's the truth. When someone stops saying "I love you," they're telling you everything you need to know. They're showing you exactly where you stand. And when they only bring those words back out of fear, they've already lost the right to your heart. She stopped saying "I love you." So I stopped coming home. And when she finally tried to say it again, I realized I didn't need her words. I needed my dignity. I needed my peace. And that's the moment I chose myself.